Привет. Меня слышно? А я вас почему-то не слышу. Я вас не слышу.
Здравствуйте.
Ага, здравствуйте. Но у меня таких особых вопросов нет. В принципе, все понятно, что Цезарь говорит. Вот такое впечатление создается у меня, что все проблемы и трудности жизни, они от эго. Вот. И все становится каким-то интересным, забавным. Ну, это просто я как бы делюсь и замечаю уже, что эго постоянно, оно хочет вылезти. Оно хочет вылезти. Вот. Ну, на самом же деле так, что все проблемы и вот именно трудности, как я раньше ощущала, что тяжело почему-то, на самом деле этого нет. Ну, вот мне так кажется. Или это опять какая-то ловушка?
Is it true that all the problems and difficulties they come from the ego?
No,
Or is it a trap?
it's a thought.
Это мысль.
Что мысль?
Вот есть вот.
What you just said,
То, что вы сказали,
well, that is thought.
все это есть мысль.
What is all that when you don't think about it?
Где все это, когда вы не думаете об этом?
What is a problem when you don't think I have a problem or there is a problem?
Где проблемы, когда вы не думаете о том, что у меня есть проблема?
Where are you? Who are you when you don't think?
Где вы и кто вы, когда вы не думаете?
Не знаю, кто. Кто я, это что-то непонятное.
Who am I? I don't know.
That's also a thought.
И это тоже мысль.
Ego is to believe what you think,
Эго означает верить в то, что вы думаете.
that you are what you think.
Верить в то, что вы есть то, что вы думаете.
Now you believe that thought also, that you are that thought.
Сейчас вы верите и вот в эту мысль тоже, что вы являетесь этой мыслью.
Otherwise this conversation will never take place.
В противном случае этот разговор бы не происходил.
Мгм. Значит, я попалась на крючок, я попалась в ловушку.
So that means I got hooked and I'm in a trap.
Yes.
Да.
Мгм. Окей. Значит, получается, когда эго уйдет, уже я и не буду заходить на эти встречи и не буду ничего говорить.
That from all these people, I don't have to listen to any of them. So that they are interested in to listen what I have to say. Ego is body identity.
Эго — это отождествление с телом.
That's all.
И все.
It's that simple.
Это несложно.
No ego means no body identity.
Отсутствие эго означает отсутствие отождествления с телом.
It's just the idea that oneself is limited to one particular name and form. That's it.
Идея о том, что ваше «я» ограничено каким-то определенным именем и формой.
The coffee place. conversations. Все?
Все, все.
Kurwa.
Hello. that desperation is just going on, and in general, such a
Despair.
Do you hear me? Hello? Do you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that desperation is just going on, and in general, such a dissatisfaction with life and everything, even though everything is very fine and okay, but I just cannot get rid of it, and there is nothing I can do about it. And it's kind of everything is clear, and I don't know, am I doing something wrong or what? Life used to be so much more lighter some lot of years ago, but now it's just stuck in some, I don't know what.
Life is as it is.
No, it's in my head that all that self-inflicted pain, or I don't know what is it.
It's all thought. It is all thought. But what you feel is because of what you think. You feel that the world is separate from you. And there is you and the world. And that the world should match with your preconceived ideas of how the world is supposed to be. Basically that.
How to stop thinking like that.
Find out who sees the world as a separate entity, who feels separate from the world.
No, I'm looking for it and I don't find there anything, and I'm
Because
looking so much.
It doesn't exist. But we don't like to get that answer.
No, I would really like to get that answer because I'm so tired of it.
Of what?
Of that which doesn't exist. And
If I identify myself with the body, then the world is perceived as a separate entity. If I don't identify myself with the body, right, the world is not separate from me. Basically, the world and I are one and the same. There is no second entity called world. Its identity with the body disappears. You realize that oneself alone is.
sometimes it's clear, sometimes it's just mess.
When it's not clear, then the inquiry must take place.
Sometimes it's clear how to make inquiry. Sometimes it's just.
Because I am more interested in my suffering than getting rid of the suffering. I am more interested to make sure that the world matches with my ideas than getting rid of the one that would like the world to match with his ideas. I'm more interested in getting something than getting rid of the one that wants to get something.
I'm very interested of getting rid of it. But sometimes it's clear how to do that, and sometimes
How can you
just
get
make
rid of
it all worse.
How can you get rid of it? Just realize that it doesn't exist. How do you realize that it doesn't exist? By looking for its reality. What is the mind? What is it made of? What is the nature of the mind? What is its reality? Right? I believe I am the mind, right? Means I believe I am what I
I don't know.
think. Then who am I? That thought remains alone. The thought I is there alone. It doesn't like it. It would love to be accompanied by you, he, she, it. What it thinks about you, he, she, it, and what it thinks about itself. You have to hold a self-image or an image of the world. Otherwise, it cannot survive.
It's like a small child. It's kind of jumping here and there and like getting distracted.
That's how it works. If you don't believe that you are what you think, means the mind, then the mind can do whatever it pleases. First, it will not bother you. Second, it will not condition the activities of the body.
No, it's often like that, but that feeling is still there.
The feeling is because of the thought. The thought is producing that feeling.
But it's
I cannot inquire for you or for anybody else. I only can say this, that's all. Everything else is up to the people. Right?
The problem is that inquiry often is very not like clear how to do that. Sometimes it's clear and it's all right, but then again I'm looking there for something and
make it clear now. See from where these thoughts arises and they disappear. When they disappear, the inquiry comes to an end. Leave it like that.
okay.
You're talking about the world, right? I'm dissatisfied with the world, right? Yes? So the world is the object, and this appears to be the subject, right? This is the subject
I'm not sure.
I'm telling you, please, I'm trying to save you from all thinking and all that stuff. I'm trying to make it easy for you. Don't make it more complicated, right? Just listen carefully. You are saying, if I hear you correctly, the issue is the world affairs, right? Yes?
No, most issue, I guess, is with that feeling of
Yes, but the feeling is about the world. Yes?
I'm not sure about what is it. It's just such like contraction feeling.
Yes, but because of the world, right? You say, isn't it what you say?
Probably.
And dissatisfied
Yes, that's what
with life. Life means world, right? This is life. This is what people call life. I'm dissatisfied with life, right?
Okay.
So life is the object of dissatisfaction, and I am the one that is dissatisfied. Yes. Okay. So there is the object, which is the world, and there is the subject, which is me, I, Caesar, right? Then bring the attention from the object to the subject, right? And then you don't think about the world, you don't think about yourself. And then this idea that yourself is limited to the body, right? It will collapse by itself. That's as simple as that. So you have to keep this I alone, single, right?
It just needs time.
It doesn't need time, but it doesn't need time.
I mean, like I'm turning the attention to myself, and then it's for a while there, and then I get distracted, and in general, nothing really changed. Like
no, so if the inquiry comes to if the inquiry is really done properly, it's just like this in a split second. That's my experience. I was suggested bring the attention from the seen to the seer, and I was told the seen will disappear, the seer will disappear, and what remains is the act of seeing or simply being that which sees, the ultimate observer, whatever you like to call it. Right? What remains is the knowledge of being, knowing, not even that you are, because it's not even that you are, it's just knowledge of existence, that's all. And that existence is just, it is. And it has no problem whatsoever with anything. In reality, you may believe otherwise, but it's only a belief, only a thought. Then you will not be neither satisfied nor dissatisfied.
That's very okay.
And then the world is completely harmless. The nature of the world is pleasure and pain. See, there is this and there is this. This one, the body finds it a little bit unpleasant. Like this, and then to get rid of this, and if you can. You have nothing else to eat, and you go with this one too. Right? And life becomes so easy and so simple. From the world, my friend, you will get only pleasure and pain. That's all. There is nothing else here but pleasure and pain. This is a pleasure and pain receptor. That's all. Itself is pleasure and pain also. Right? So if you want something else from the world, you will not find it here. If you want permanent peace and love and happiness and all that is not in the world, it is your own self. So what you want is what you are. You may not be aware of it. And then we get sick and tired of finding and looking for oneself in the world. I want something permanent, right? I want a permanent state of fulfillment, right? That's what I want. I want the yes, because when you get what you want, see, I am crazy about this, for example, right? And then I wake up in the morning, and as soon as I wake up, I'm dreaming already about this, because I cannot stop thinking about this, because this is very nice, right? Then, when I eat this, my mind keeps quiet. Because it got this, right? Now, I will not stop until I get this. And I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get this, because when I get this, I will be okay. I will be satisfied, right? I am missing this sense of satisfaction, right? But I'm looking for this. What I'm getting here is just satisfaction, see? No satisfaction, it's a fiction, right? Then, until I get this, I will not be happy. When I get this, see, I am no longer seeking for this. Am I right?
Yeah.
I stop seeking, right?
Yes.
And my mind keeps quiet.
Yes.
And I feel good. But not because I got this, because my mind just kept quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I believe that this sense of okayness derives from this. It's because I've stopped thinking. No thoughts, no mind. No mind, not this, not that. I will be so happy when I get this girl. When I get this girl, it happened that this girl is not what I thought. It's not like she pretended to be or she appeared to be on Facebook. I'm not saying anything. Don't look at me. Right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for something. Everybody's looking for a permanent sense of, I want to feel good all the time. Right? That's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
And you are that all the time. That is one's reality. That is one's natural state. But because I am identifying myself with the body, which is subject to change, the body itself is pleasure and pain, right?
Yeah.
What the body perceives, it produces pain. It's just a receptor. The body is just a receptor interpreter, right?
Mm.
It receives data, and that data is interpreted as pleasant and unpleasant. That's all. That's basically it. It's that simple. It's no more complicated than that. Right? You can make it more complicated if you wish, but I don't know why. But
I also don't know.
then I go today in the morning to drive Nasi and the boy to the school. Super fantastic. We're driving, beautiful view. And suddenly the road stinks like hell that you feel like puking, right? What can you do? Nothing, it's just there. Yes? It's just there. Can you do something about it? By all means. Try the windows open, close the windows and switch off the AC. Still is a little bit of that stuff in the car. You will breathe in and out until it goes. Right? Are you following? And the action takes place. You may succeed, you may not. See, we succeed this morning, right? Partially to get over it, right? Maybe you can't. We couldn't have avoided, right? Why? If we could have, well, could have, should have, would have, I don't know. It's just that, and it stinks. And it is very unpleasant. Little puking, right? And then you try whatever you can. No. You know what I'm saying? There will be a more. I don't know if I'm making any sense to anyone. It's so simple. It's just. It's a natural responses. It's a natural responses. See, there is a response to avoid pain. This is a natural response to avoid pain. You may succeed, you may not. That's all. And it's a natural response. I don't see a monkey that wakes up in the morning, oh, I hope I can find unripe bananas or rotten bananas. No, he wakes up in the morning, he's hoping that he's going to get the best bananas in the market, yes? And the best looking she monkey to have a wonderful time. Right? Yes or no? This is a natural physical functioning. So all this may be satisfied or not. That's a different story. Right?
Yeah.
That's a complete different story. I love avocados, and I go to the supermarket and I get avocados. So sometimes you open it and they suck, right? I don't have x-rays. How can I know this avocado is not a nice looking one from inside? From outside it looks like, I don't know, fantastic. When you open it, oh my God, right? It's like, not you, you're perfect. It's like relationships, right? From outside looks fantastic. See, when you open it to see what is inside, oh my God, you find so much stuff that you didn't even imagine it was there, right? Now what are you gonna do? Then that's, I don't know, that's, you figure it out. But now, underneath of that, there's a tremendous sense of equanimity, forbearance, call it whatever you like, call it peace, call it silence, call it okayness, call it sense of well, call it whatever you like. See, it's there. And we feel it now and then, right?
Yeah.
Now and then we feel it like, it's because the mind is quiet, because you are not seeking for something. Now, if you know that what you're seeking, okay, you may find it. And after you find it, whatever you're experiencing is going to last for a while. Then, by all means, you're free, right? You're free to walk here and there and do as you please, right? Because even if I love surfing or karate as much as I like it, this body cannot take it for too long, right? And at some point, either you will have to stop because you're tired, or the waves will stop, it's going to get dark, you won't be able to carry on. So, right? But what I want to give is continuity to this sense of well-being, right? And it is already there. It is already, it cannot be more continuous than what it is. Because oneself cannot be more permanent than what it is. I mean, you have something that is permanent and something that is impermanent. You can't separate them. They are one and the same, actually. In fact, in reality, both are yourself. The permanent and the impermanent. You can't separate yourself from the impermanent. That's impossible. You can't separate yourself from the world. You can't separate yourself from pleasure. Oh, that's so nice. Stop it. You can't. That's stupid, right? That is the monk issue, right? Oh God, this is so nice. This food is so tasty. Please don't bring that so nice. I'm fasting, right? Why fasting? Why not fasting? Not feasting because that's nasty, but that's like too much. But what? No, I'm sick and tired of being a good boy. No, I'm joking, man. But I'm serious at the same time, right? I mean, we can speak about that, the sense of humor. Maybe it's my family conditioning. Maybe my dad conditioned us having fun, sense of humor, and that's also okay. I mean, everything is okay. See, the only thing that is evil are the ideas of good and evil. That's the only problem here. The only evil in the world is the ideas of good and evil. That doesn't exist. It's pleasure and pain, full stop. Leave it like that. It's that simple. It's hot. Well, it's hot, yeah. It's unpleasant, big time. There is no denial of what is. Right? But if you begin to realize that you can't run away from what is because it's not separate from myself, then you begin to see the other side of yourself, right? Which is always okay. It doesn't matter what is happening, right? Or not happening. People are waiting for the world to change to be happy. That's the problem, right? They're waiting from, I don't know, all political leaders to die, or I don't know, jail them, or all that. Why can you not be happy now? You tell me why. It has nothing to do with anybody.
It does not have anything to do with anything, but still I don't know why I cannot be happy. And this, I don't really get this, that not separation from the world, like what you are saying. I don't understand that. How
This I has to at least be quiet for a while. If it is quiet, what is it? When the mind is quiet, what is it? What is mind? Thoughts. See, apart from thoughts, there is no self called mind. There is no entity called mind. There is no individual self called mind. Right? And this moment of quiet mind is what produces the loss of identity with the body. Then you're still conscious of the body, and at the same time you're aware of your reality. And then you figure out that, my God, my reality is not limited to this, and yet there's nothing I can do about that. It's there, it's not going anywhere. Then I realize that both are one and the same. I am aware of my nameless, formless reality, and I am conscious of the body. I become aware that my nameless, formless reality is always okay, and is completely unaffected by whatever this is perceiving, sensing, feeling, right?
my nameless, formless reality, it's not a feeling, right?
No,
When
it's
I
not a
look at
feeling, it's
myself,
not a feeling.
attention goes to the feeling.
No, exactly. Exactly.
So I should keep like look at that feeling of myself.
No, yourself is not a feeling. You just look what the mind is and it disappears. That's enough. See, you become aware of yourself like you don't even know it how. There's no way to know it how. It just happens. Right? It cannot be, there is no how to become aware of yourself. There's no way, there's no practice, nothing. Just keep quiet. And it takes you by surprise. You surprise yourself like, oh, Jesus, what was I thinking? Right? It begins to reveal itself, see, by itself, to itself, as your own self. You are conscious of the body, all that is okay, but you are not aware. It's one aspect of yourself that you still are not aware of. That's all. You become aware of that. You are only conscious of phenomenon, but you are not aware of yourself as that which knows phenomenon. The knower is unknown. Cannot be known, right? If it is a knower, it is not known, it is unknown, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it cannot be known.
And you cannot know yourself neither. So you can know that you are the unknown. Because you will remain invisible to yourself. You will never know what is it that you are. So you
Yeah.
will never know yourself. You will know that you are yourself, right? And be careful with the word self, because self doesn't mean in this context being or an entity. It is. It's there, right? It is there, but if it doesn't have a name and a form, how can it be a being? What kind of being is that? It's like a ghost. This is why it's called spirit, right?
Mm.
When you call it supreme, then you spoil it. As soon as you put paraphernalia on the tree, then it's no longer just a pine tree. It's now a Christmas tree and all that stuff.
So I'm not supposed to look at that feeling.
Look for yourself. So you look for yourself and you don't find yourself, huh? And then you find yourself. See? You look for yourself, what you think you are, and you don't find it. And then you stumble with yourself as it is. It's like there's no way to know it. Everybody says you have to look for your true self. What do you mean by true self? I am always that. How can I look for myself if I am there? Right? And if I am there, what am I looking for? Yes? And this inquiry thing is for those who don't understand that there is nothing to find. Everything is there. The knower and the unknown. See, the unknower, knower, and the known world is already there. Nothing is missing. Everything is there. Nothing is missing. Everything is already one and the same thing. Everything is already one and the same thing. In reality, you will realize bloody nothing. But you realize that there is nobody there that can possibly realize anything. Oh, surprise, surprise. There was never anybody that can possibly realize anything. And you will find that this needs basic stuff. And then you just stick to it, to the basics, right? I don't need nice shoes with lights. What for? Especially if I'm walking on daylight. Nobody. I don't see. There's so much stuff that is not necessary, right?
Yeah.
But everything else comes into balance just like that, right? I don't need so much space to live. I don't need so much food. I don't need so much exercises. I need some, right? And then everything begins to get, comes into balance, so to speak. Right? The mind, the so-called mind, see, the mental activity, see, neither too dull, not too active or nothing. It's just, it's the way you think, not you. You don't get balance into anything. What you are is perfect. It doesn't need to get balance. Everything else will get balance within yourself. Right? Then you realize I was sleeping too much, or was doing too much, or too little. You know that by yourself. Then you don't need anybody to tell you a thing. right? What to do, what not to do, nothing. You are your own boss. You're freelance again. All these ideas, what I want to be, fulfill my dream. What dream? But you have to, you don't have to fulfill anything. You just have to fill the stomach. Not fulfill any dreams about anything. You just fill the stomach. See, and then you don't have to worry about it for another 3-4 hours. Right? You're free from having to think what is done, right? You fill this with water, run, and the body is hydrated. Simple as that, right? And you go for another hour maybe. And if you're like me talking so much, you may have to drink a lot of water and get dehydrated quickly. And then I have muscle cramps and stuff. Even my tongue cramps.
A headache.
Or a headache or whatever, right? It's just the basics for the body. That's all. The body is not interested in so many things, I'm telling you. That doesn't mean that you will not have some form of entertainment. By all means, right? Why not? Or your little ice cream with a cup of coffee. Why not? That's not a big deal, right? The body just wants to survive. That's the only interest in the body. Survival, reproduction. Full stop. The body is not interested in wearing fancy shoes or fancy clothes or makeup. It's not interested in any of that. That came later. This is when the self-image torn into because everybody has a self-image physically, but then it becomes a concept, right? A conceptual image. Then the problem is started. Because a dog may not think it is a dog, but believe it is a dog. You know what I'm saying? It's the same self here, it's the same self in the dog, right? It doesn't think I am a dog, but it's believed to be limited to that particular form. But the dog doesn't have a self-image. Are you following?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you take this dog to a competition, the dog is doing it because you are training it. The dog doesn't believe it's a champion, right?
Yeah.
Or it doesn't feel superior than other dog because of the pedigree. All that nonsense is not in the dog, right? Fifi, right? The dog doesn't feel like it is a posh dog. It still is a dog, right? Maybe become as stupid as the owner. That may happen, right? But yes,
Yeah.
all different race of dogs. All this was because people were interested in producing stuff. The dogs were not interested in mixing with each other and creating a new race of dogs. All this is human nonsense, right? There's something along the way. This is why the Absolute says, hey, this has to be fixed. Wake up from that self-image, right? And you think the dog is wagging the tail because it loves you only? Because he's hungry. He's happy to see you because finally he can eat something. You went away for the whole day, and I cannot even feed myself because I'm trapped here within these 4 walls that you locked me in, right? And then now I have to wait for you to bring me food and put water in. I cannot open the tap by myself, otherwise I'll... So all this goes away from human thinking, if it is human thinking, but that flower doesn't think it's beautiful, huh? It's just being a flower, right?
Yeah.
It's not competing with the other flower, right? Trying to smell more fragrant than the other flower, right? It doesn't feel jealous of the... And the other flower is not going to the shop to get high heels and makeup to look more beautiful. Are you following what I'm saying?
I guess.
The same romantic ideas, then we superimpose images on the world. Nature is so romantic. Flipper is fantastic. The dolphin, you don't know this TV program? Flipper, right? Oh, the dolphins are amazing. No, they are not amazing. They engage in gang rape and they can be quite vicious too, right? Go and talk dolphin's tits. If it is pregnant or just having, it would beat the crap out of you. It doesn't matter if you are a human and they love each other so much, right? So all this goes away from the human thinking, and then we are back again to the reality of what is. Plus, this is a plus here, right? This is the bonus. See, the knowledge of the reality of oneself. Plus that, it gets even better. So not only you go back to a natural organics, if I can use this word without getting plus, it's a natural way of functioning as a human being, and plus you become aware of your natural state or your reality, your nameless, formless reality. It's simple as that.
So what is this becoming aware of my reality? It's that becoming aware that
Then you have to watch the recordings
the time
I will explain you like 3 times, you haven't get it.
yeah, no, I'm just dumb.
No. It's becoming aware that you are that which is aware. Not an awareness, be careful with that. You are becoming aware of that which is aware.
By recognizing that it is like unknown and impossible to know.
You recognize yourself by denying what is not yourself. Not the body, not the mind, not the energy. Basically that. Not the body, not the mind, not the energy. The body is energy anyway, but not the body, not the mind. This I am not, this I am not, this I am not, this I am not. The one that says I am not, also I am not. It's a discrimination between the seer and the seen, right? This is happening by itself, to be honest. Either it happens or it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
The people that come to these talks is because they're semi-awake. They just believe they are crazy. They think they are going bananas. They are just regaining their sanity. But they don't know who to talk to, because if they go to a psychologist, they will put on medications and therapies and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this is why they look for the so-called call it whatever you like, fancy words you want, any fancy word you can create for these people, sages, enlightened, whatever, right? Wise people, it doesn't matter. So you believe that you are going bananas, then you have to go and talk with the one that knows that it's bananas already. That is fully banana. Right? Because apparently, from the psychological point of view, awakening is a mental illness. It might be because it spoils the business of the psychology, so they have to keep some market for themselves, right? So
Yeah.
there is no better way. There is no better way than to keep a market and humiliate the product of someone else, right? A competition. No, McDonald's is better than Burger King because these people are not. So the best way to make yourself a greater person is by humiliating someone else. Forget about this knife and this nothing useful and forget about all that. This is the one, and because it's mine, then it's good. Are you following? So it's all a politician says the same story. If you pay attention to something carefully, if we dare to observe. My guru is not, these gurus are not real. We are the real gurus. Call 9088 real guru. No, 800, no, it's normally 800 real guru. Call 800 real guru and we'll give you your enlightenment. Stop looking for these gurus, those gurus. Call 800 real guru and we will deliver your enlightenment. You only pay for the product, it's free delivery. So at the end you realize that none of the two exist, neither the guru nor the seeker. The seeker creates the guru. And the guru says, thank you for creating me. Right? Guruji, okay, I'll talk to you. Today I give you a discount because you are my first customer. Asim knows what I'm talking about. So good luck for me. I'm blessed with your presence in my shop. I give you a discount. Doesn't matter because I'm still profiting big time. This is my marketing shaking head. Just to give a rest to the Russians, we go and tease the Indians. I already had enough threats from Russians on Facebook. Julia's laughing at you. Yes or no? It's like that. Exercises, forget about these machines and all this. No, now do this, right? It's the same story, my friend. It's a self-image, right? So when it turns like, when it gets like that, so now we really have to look into it now, because already it's going too far. Of course, you're also the body. You want everybody actually, but you just believe to be limited to this one, right? That's all, and that is okay. That is the only way that life can function, right? As we know it, duality, right? So this imaginary split, right, into subject and object is an illusion, right? Apparently, I am talking to you. In reality, I'm talking to myself. So if everything is one and the same, the only way that oneself can experience its own manifestation objectively is by identifying itself with the body, right? Where the mind gives impression, see, the mind identifies the body as a self, I, right? I. So that thoughts identify the body as a subject, right? And then you, he, she, it identifies the world as if there were multiple objects, right? And all of them, subject and object, having qualities, characteristics, attributes, and all that stuff. All that is thought. And all that is mind. All that is contained in one thought, I. Mine is not only the thought I, mine is the thought I and you. That's so subject and object, they appear together, disappear together. So when you are not thinking, there is no subject, there is no object. Nobody notices that. Why? Because it's not important. Why? Because I am not there. That's why it's not important. It's like a picture, right? If I am not in the picture is not important, right? A picture of my guru is not important, right? Why? Because I am not there with my guru. Yes, a picture of the Taj Mahal is not important because I am not in the picture. Now the picture has relevance. Taj Mahal now is relevant because I am in the picture. Huh? See, I and it, or I and you. You means the word, actually, not the person. You, he, she, it is the word, right? Doesn't mean that the mind creates a word, not physical word, not the reality of the word. See, the mind creates a separate entity called word. That's all. The mind is not made by thoughts. I can guarantee you that. Because thought appears after the body appears. To identify yourself with the body, first there must be a body that you can identify yourself with, right? So the mind didn't come first, the mind came at the end. So the mind was never a problem. It became a problem. Then we deal with it properly, right? Can you bring the battery charger? Please. Oh, 12 o'clock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you understand now?
I understand more.
See, can I tell you something? In the past, there was no spirituality. There was no practice, there was no inquiry. None of that existed in the past. There were just people where this begins to happen, right? Yes. It didn't happen to the people, but this begins to happen in people. Not by people, but in people, because the human body is there, right? So it begins to happen in human bodies. That which is begins to wake up, right? In a human body. Out of awareness of the fact that things began to go in bananas, right? Gautam Siddharth says people are suffering, right? And I say, I must find out why people are suffering. And then he was suffering because people were suffering, and he was suffering trying to find out why people were suffering, right? And he realized this is also a problem. Now this become a problem for, it was never a problem for me, now it became my problem, right?
Yeah.
Now try to solve people's suffering, then I began to suffer also.
Yeah.
And then I put Boris, who a tremendous amount of stress Buddha, right? He was hanging on a tree for a while, doing austerities and all that stuff, and realized this is not, right? This is not the way, this is not the way, there's no way. And then he finally began to observe himself. And then he realized that the self he was observing was not himself. I mean, not really himself. The body and the mind and all that. And he stumbled with a great emptiness, as the Buddhists call it. I don't know what he said because I was not there. Right? So I have to put up with maybe what someone has made up. I don't know. And that's okay, but the great emptiness, right? Which is oneself. Empty of name, empty of form, empty of quality, empty of characteristics and attributes, and yet it is. Not a dead emptiness, right? But an alive emptiness has to be alive, otherwise it's a useless emptiness. And in the end, they realize, okay, it's an emptiness that is filled with everything, right? So emptiness is everything, everything is emptiness, see? Can't separate them. There is samsara, which is movement, right? And there is nirvana, which is the unmovable. You can't separate them. And then what to do? And there lies your peace. In this what to do lies everything. So you cannot detach from anything because there is nothing separate from you that you can detach yourself from. So all that comes to an end. Attachment, detachment, identity, no identity, entity, no entity, all that comes to an end. So what is next? Well, let's go to Wilson's and have a carrot cake. It's an Americano cafe. No sugar, because already the cake had enough sugar. If you can. If not, then whatever. Again, when you know what is in the reality of the world, and you know what is your reality, That's it. That's it. Do you have to work? Do you have to go to the office now?
So what is coming to us?
What? There was somebody wanted to ask, otherwise we can stop. Another 5 minutes?
Cal-
Somebody.
Galvenīšus.
Huh? Yeah, Larissa, something was raising the hand. Larissa Sophronics.
It's the same.
This is one Larissa.
We talked to in the beginning.
At the beginning. Sophronics, is that a nickname, right? Everybody goes so paranoid about all this conspiracy theory that not even in these meetings they give their real name. They also use a nickname. I switch on my camera, I change my name, nobody knows who I am. Anybody from the Russian speaking community?
Есть ли вопросы у кого-то еще?
Leave the Russian alone because I already upset with him. So, then see you tonight.
До вечера.
You remind me speaking Spanish and tomorrow morning.
Или до завтра.
Okay. Bye-bye.